Sally Forth Paladins, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates +1. I'm Rear Admiral Tarek of the Dreadnought HMS Exile, as we continue our campaign against the Lyran Star Empire, and we are really giving them the business, despite several Lyran counterattacks, which have had a pretty interesting effect on continually pushing us back. We have definitely been pressuring them, and their current starbase is down to a defense of 14, which means it's vulnerable. So, without further ado, let us set out into space to see if we can't smash a little bit more around here. And the first mission of the day, wonderfully, MET-10 Patrol, just a straight-up battle, us and the enemy, and victory or defeat is determined purely by who brought the best ship and the best captain. And let's be completely honest, the AI is not exactly brilliant, although we have been known to get ourselves in a little bit over our head. I don't think that's what's about to happen, given what we're currently fighting, but it's entirely possible, and I'm not about to discount them out completely just yet. Let's get the forward shield to a certain level of reinforcement. That way, just in case he turns out to actually be a secret dreadnought, we can annihilate him. If not, we can annihilate him. There's really no losers in this. Well, except, of course, for him. And we do see a dreadnought, unfortunately, so this is an actual... and a new command cruiser. Okay, slow down the speed time. So, a DNPH, which is a dreadnought with a pseudo-frigate upgrade and a phaser upgrade, I assume, and a new command cruiser, which probably brings pseudo-frigates to the table as well as the single frigate here, who is, well, basically forgettable, but he's going to be a little bit of a problem. Let's go maximum electronic countermeasures. We do have full fighter squadrons on this, although if I remember correctly, we're running a little bit low on armor, or is that a previous example? Okay, so starting to take a little bit of fire. Let's kick our speed up a little bit. The plan is as follows. Run over the DWLF, hopefully kill him with every single weapon that we have, pull away into the NCF, attract a little bit of fire, and then hopefully select everything except the Hellbores. I have a plan. And then hopefully be able to have our fighters deal with the NCFF, and then we come around and deal with the Dreadnought, all in one gorgeous setup. Cross your fingers, this is going to get a little bit ugly. I need a little bit more speed, we need to keep crawling in. Come on, turn back into me, you know you want to. You are eager to come fighting me, aren't you? I can't risk it. Fire! That did not work. Okay, all weapons. That also did not work, all weapons. That did work, okay. Dealt with the first one. Alright, now we are under fire from multiple angles, and the new command cruiser is a heck of a lot closer than I thought he would be. So, problems. Not huge problems, but problems. Slow down. So we're going to start trying to deal with this problem a little bit. And the question is, how are we going to do that? The answer may surprise you, or not, as the case may be. So that new command cruiser is going to come in, and he's basically going to be a major thorn on my side, so I can't afford to lose too much shield to this DNP. Oh, it's a DNP plus, not a DNPH. So, no pseudo-frigate, but a phaser upgrade for sure. So, I don't want to get too close to him. And I really would like to have my Hellbores back by the time we're actually turning to engage each other. So drop a mine here, see if you can't preempt this a little bit. I do want to push him away slightly. Start to get most of our systems charging back online, because the phaser capacitor is a full charge, and that just frees up absolute gobs of power. It frees up, what, 8, 10 points? So we're going to use this mine a little bit to protect ourselves as we come in on this NCFF, who could be vulnerable. And I'm about to have most of my weapon systems available. Got another mine, creating a nice little field here. Oh, wait, angle. That's a really good angle. Okay, gotta pull this starboard side shield away from him, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. Alright, I was worried about that, and I was right to be worried. Especially because you're not parking in my blind spot? Okay, that works with me. All weapons select. Fighters prepare for launch. Yeah, no you don't. So, did a good number on him there. Go. Go. So we got our fighters deployed. Guys, not that one. Okay, I've got to turn away off to starboard while my boys waste their Hellbore shots on, well, useless things. I think I've got a good chance here in terms of if my fighters will actually engage the Soul Taker, because if they'll do that, then they might be able to kill him. I want to stay away from this Dreadnought for a little. Stop engaging the completely worthless pseudo-frigate. You guys are just so disappointing on occasion. On other occasions, they're absolutely amazing. I mean, look at how much damage they just deal, 27. So I can't complain too much. I do need to get some distance away from this DMP, though. Because otherwise he's going to get it nice and close and it's going to hurt. I do need to get this fighter squadron away, but I would like them to conclude their business with the Soul Taker. They did. Lovely. Fighters, come home.
Return it to ship.
So we've dealt with the frigate, we've dealt with the fast cruiser, or command cruiser, or whatever it is. Dump of mine, get him to back off a little bit. Fighters, come meet me on the other side of the field. And, ooh, he's being smart, he's targeting my fighters. Because if he can kill them, get back on board, get back on board. Okay, so, more power. So I need a little bit of time, reset my hellbores, get everything working once again, and get my fighters reset, because we're going to need them pretty desperately. We did lose our shield at one point in the battle so far, but we haven't taken any major damage yet, so we're okay. We are pulling away pretty steadily. Defense shift is only at 1. I'd like to get that a little bit higher. Do I... How much power do I currently have? Only 2 points of power. Not great. Not terrible, but not great. Drop 1 point of speed. Drop a little bit more speed. Ooh, that went into weapons. Because I didn't have them. I don't want to engage you until after my fighters are ready to go. That's my major concern at the moment. I'm about to have a Hellbore online. I am wasting my rear shield at the moment. But if I can build some distance in here, I can afford that wastage. So slow down a little bit since he did turn away, and then he slowed down. So we'll do a speed of 20 for a little while, get some power back into the ship. I can reduce my speed by even 1 more point and get myself up to 4.5, which could give me a high enough defense shift. Unfortunately, he's catching up to me now. So I need to spend. Must spend, must spend, must spend. He's gone fast. And the Hellbores will be ready soon. Fighter... I need to know how long until that other squadron's ready. A little bit. Okay. Start to slow down. Let's bring the ship back around. Because I think it's time to engage. I think he thinks it's in time to engage as well. Alright, so I need some forward shield reinforcement. How are we doing on that? Not at all. In fact, we're about to meet on an angle that I really don't want to meet him at. Come on, a little bit more, a little bit more. I thought about going a high energy, or a, not a high energy turn, but a evasive maneuvers call. Yeah, he's going for everything. Open him up. I figured, but the key thing was he's lost 2 major shields, and he's used his ESGs. Go. And able to lash out as well with my Gatling phaser, and then they lashed out with their Gatling phasers, and then they started dealing some damage. And that was well worth eating some of that. Okay, we're about to lose a fighter squadron, I think. Come home. Come home now. Hopefully before you die. Let's see if we can't lead you in a wide arc around the Thunderfang, because the Thunderfang could kill you. You're incredibly vulnerable since there's only 1 of you left. But I think we got the Thunderfang. And that fighter squadron. That fighter squadron. All fighters come home. Get back on board. We got a final phaser pass, which we can probably make on him. Good. Very good. Alrighty, so that was a new command cruiser, or NCCF, wasn't it? So a fast command cruiser, as well as a dreadnought, and a frigate. Yeah, that was it. Well, an HTW, wasn't it? So a heavy war destroyer. 438 prestige is our reward and tile taken. Let's continue the assault. Base assault? No, thank you. We're going to take the patrol. I'd like to actually take this tile intact rather than in pieces. I can take the actual station itself. Well, that allows us to be even more aggressive. Quick check on the repair screen. We're good. Our armor took most of that. So we were able to well calculate how much damage we were able to take, spread it across multiple shields. Not too shabby. I'm quite happy with how that turned out. Although, I am a bit questioning, do I have too much energy into something? Because I thought I was... There we go. So we are at 1.5. So we're going to trundle along at lowest of speeds because we don't need to go anywhere quickly up until the point the weapon systems are fully charged. There is the enemy, a single enemy pirate frigate. Wonderful. So we should be able to handle him without too much trouble. He is technically a destroyer, but he's a pirate ship. Who really cares? Increase the speed of the ship. We're basically just going to lunge right on top of him and nail him with everything we've got. Unless he's got a buddy, well, he's probably done for. Okay, let's be honest. Even if he does have a buddy, he's probably done for. So, I'm really happy that we managed to get our fighters back. Getting everybody back on board meant that we lost basically nothing except for a little bit of armor in that last fight, which when you're taking on a heavy cruiser, a dreadnought, and a frigate, that's a worthy sacrifice in order to actually maintain a total amazing kill. You have 2.5 type plasma torpedoes, and you decided to turn away from me. I am not gonna complain, but you should know that, well, that was probably a bad move. Hi. He had 2 F-type plasma torpedoes. I don't know why he didn't use them. If it was a perfect weapon system to try and crunch through me, I would have had to actually do something about it rather than just drive right at him. But instead, he decided to turn quite harshly away from me and opened up his entire flank to us. And of course, well, the results were predictable. 160 prestige in our pocket. It's down to 9. We've almost got it. Continue to push back on their territory as best as we can. Ooh, it took quite a little while to get through there. Another patrol. So basically, a search and destroy war patrol is what we're currently on. And we'll continue to blast away at the enemy until finally we manage to get them all. Asteroid field, a great place for an ambush, so let's be a little bit careful about this one. Okay, the enemy can't actually ambush you in this game, as cool as that would be. Like, even the ambush mission that they give you is basically a joke. It's like, yeah, there's one guy over here who's at a range of like 80, and one guy's over here who's like a range of 50. Fight. And, well, yeah, sometimes it's better just to run, but it's not exactly the hardest mission in the world, and pays out really good. Alright, so we are cruising. Let's make sure our shields are being reinforced. Good. Our electronic countermeasure is being utilized. Good. And a heavy cruiser off in the distance. Fleet screen says NCFF, so another new command fast cruiser or something like that? I'm not quite certain how they're currently describing them, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he probably doesn't have sufficient firepower to be able to stop me on his own. Considering the last time we ran into one of these guys, they had a dreadnought with them, and, well, we laughed. Okay, we didn't laugh, but we had a good time with it. The only annoyance is the fact that these soda frigates are going to eat up my fighters. Yeah, that's about it, actually. Shut off the Hellbores because reasons. We want to make sure that I can do the most amount of damage to the weakest shield, and the way we do that is to make sure that the Hellbores shoot after the weakest shield has been determined. Point blank range! Lovely, 135 damage on through as the Hellbores just circle right in for the weakest shield. He is quite badly damaged. Lost one of his expanding sphere generators. He did not opt to use it, which is an interesting decision. Harass? Yeah, let's go harass. Keep them outside of ESG range just in case. Because, yep, he just activated it. Alright, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to tank your single 20 damage ESG. Oh, took it on the wrong shield, unfortunately. Phasers are not yet ready. Come on, more phasers, come on. Get online. I'd like to be able to defend myself quite nicely, lovely. Okay, fighters, come home. Says we've already done most of the damage that we've needed to do. Phasers. Lovely. I mean, I could have gone in for another assault on the Pestilence, but let's be honest, the Pestilence is mostly crippled here. Yeah, he's got a couple of disruptors and a few phasers, but he's not really in a condition to actually threaten me. Let's avoid hitting the actual thing over there and get you home so that you can get back up to full strength, because I don't like it when you're below full strength, although you might actually be just below full strength because you're broken. Gatling phasers, please engage. Thank you. Bing, bang, boom, done. I don't think he got through the shield, so we're pretty good on that one. He did manage to damage the fighters a little bit, which not great, but hey, we're okay. And if we're okay, everything's fine. So that shouldn't be too much. Oh, 260 is more than I thought it was going to be. Tile not neutral, but that's kind of to be expected. We are sort of getting into the more difficult to defeat tiles, so let's ram into that station again. 3 more attacks-ish should be enough to actually steal it.
Red alert.
And we brought a friend this time. It is the Rapier, which is a pirate vessel that we don't really care about because he's not really equipped with anything. He's got a pair of G-missile racks, 2 photon torpedoes, 4 phaser 1s, and 2 phaser 3s. So basically he's equipped with the same weapon setup as a guided weapon destroyer. Minus 4 phasers. 2 phasers? 2 phasers. I suppose he does have 2 phaser 3s, but the phaser 1s on the guided weapon destroyer are nicer than, well, the phaser 3s on this thing. So a little bit too grand for what he actually is. Make sure we set up our forward shield. Don't want to forget that. That can soak up so much damage for you as long as you remember it. As can electronic warfare. Electronic warfare on a charge in, an amazingly great weapon system. It is a CCF, so not a new command cruiser, but an old style command cruiser. Let's kick ourselves up to speed as we dive on top of this guy with basically the same exact tactic as we had been using before. I don't think he's going to prove to be at all different from what we've run into in the past. So, yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. If he's got pseudo-frigates, that might be the one wrinkle that he's got, but so does the last ship have. So I don't think he's got really a whole... Oh, he does have pseudo-frigates. Okay, so he's going to have to actually make us fight a little bit. So let him come back in towards us. Oh, he has much better shields. I take that back. Okay, again, deselect the Hellbores, and I turned a bit too much. That's unfortunate. Turn a little bit more, a little bit more, a little more. Fire! Oh, I didn't mean to fire the Hellbores. I thought I shut them off, but apparently not. So the Lightning Claw has taken a little bit of damage that he probably doesn't want to take. Come on, Gatling Phaser. Good. Good hit with the Gatling Phaser in there, and didn't kill him. I was kind of hoping for it. Only did 13 damage from point-blank range. Okay, taking a little bit of damage on us, but that's okay. So far, hi, I can basically kill you at a glance. So as soon as I stop blinking, I will probably kill you. And apparently Lightning Claw already taking Marines on board. We did 100 damage on through that shield. That's not terrible at all. Phasers. Do I care? I don't. We're just going to come in and we're going to kill the Lightning Claw. I don't think the Lightning Claw has any real defenses left. I could wait to try and get the perfect angle. And I'm going to do that. I'm not just going to come around to get the bow on in order to nail that super powerful shield. We're actually going to play this a little bit more intelligently than we normally do. And that's why. Oh, the Exile. You are a very nice ship. Kind of not sure if I want to upgrade to an actual Monarch-class battleship, because we've got a pretty nice reasonable speed mix-up. I'm going to have to see how that really sets out. Oh, Empire Defense is still 9, so it did hold off against that, unfortunately. Alright, another patrol to go on. See will we keep messing with the enemy somewhere out here.
Red alert.
Still no enemy contact. We get something on long-range scanners and then nothing after that. Let's get the forward shield to reinforcement valve. And then maximum power to this, which will sap after we charge everything up. Maximum speed of time. And we'll just chug on. And wait. The enemy shall reveal themselves soon. There they are. They are another heavy cruiser. According to fleet screen scans, it is another NCFF. Very popular ship class we're seeing. So clearly is quite a nice design according to them. We're going to have to do something about that. Basically just annihilate everything we run into. Maybe we should start going for shipyard facilities, but the moment I say that, I don't want to do a shipyard assault. Shipyard assaults are not fun. This, on the other hand, is a little bit more fun, although we are bullying him quite badly. So maybe we should be a little bit nicer people. You see, I say that, and then I realize that I don't want to be. So stop running away from me. You can come and fight. That's okay. Turn off the Hellbores. Get a point-blank range shot on him. Come on, give me a good angle. Give me a good angle. That's looking to be a really nice angle. And the Hellbores. Haha, you could not avoid the damage. Although it does look like he spread it out quite nicely. Wow. Normally we do between 100 and 130 damage. That only did 53? That's pretty impressive in the sort of defense that he was able to accomplish. Send the fighters in. We're going to be a little bit aggressive. Yeah, he's got his 2 ESGs still available, but first of all, the fighters are going to distract themselves with killing these fighters. I'm almost positive. Oh, apparently not. Okay, that works. Opening fire with their Hellbores. Able to curl around into the back of the ship automatically for free. And phasers. I love it. Return. Return. I hope that you're not down to 2, because that would be somewhat expensive. Yeah, the amount of Alpha Strike firepower we can bring to the table with all of our fighters is somewhat ridiculous. Empire Defense is down to 25 over there. So just continuing to lay into the enemy. Okay. Not what I wanted. But we may end up running from this fight anyway. So let's see what there is actually. It's a single heavy cruiser. Oh god, it's an X-type heavy cruiser. NBT. Don't know what that means. Oh wait, no, you're a battle tug. So it shows an X-type heavy cruiser here on the screen, but no, it's a tug. The tugs are... They're pseudo-frigate tenders minus the pseudo-frigates, aren't they? Or something to that effect. I'm not super worried, if I'm completely honest. We have nothing else on scanners. According to the map screen, we are heading into the upper right-hand corner. So if we manage to get completely lost, we'll know. Upper right-hand corner is where the starbase is going to be. We may not be able to kill the starbase. That's always something we're going to have to keep in mind. We may annihilate this guy and then have to just go home because we don't have sufficient firepower to knock out the starbase, which is not the worst thing in the world. We would prefer to take these things intact. Got a heavy cruiser over here. She is an NCFF. Okay, so our good friends have returned. How much power? Battle station, it's a battle start, which we might be able to take. Huh. I'm not sure. Depends on how much damage we take on this run. That'll be interesting. Battle Tug is packing 4 ESGs, 7 disruptors. Wow, so basically what I'm gathering from this one is he's a pretty decently equipped heavy cruiser. Maybe even a light dreadnought. Alright, so we're traveling at how much additional power? A whole ton that I can currently steal from. Make sure that these are overloaded. They are. Forward shield reinforcement is set. Electronic warfare system was not activated. So let's get that going. Because we do want to have some level of protection from the massive amounts of disruptors that are about to come our way. And shut off the Hellbores. And prepare to launch an immediate fighter strike. Oh no, so you are actually carrying pseudo frigates. So what makes you a battle tug? Okay, taking a little bit of hits on there. I think he actually did manage to penetrate my forward shield, which is not great. So how much shielding are you bringing to the table? That's the other big question. Because if it's nothing at all and we can just cut you to pieces in one shot, then I'm perfectly happy to fight you. But if it's actually a ton of firepower, then we may have some more difficulty. Oh, we have shield scans and he has a ton. Okay. And he's gone to full power. Yes, we fired from beyond, way beyond orbital range. But it was worth it to completely shatter his ESG. Okay, go attack. Go attack. Start to slow down. Already opening fire with their Hellbores. Lovely, although I think they're going to waste their Gatling phasers on these guys. Yeah, our fighters are down to 2 and 5, or 2 and 4, so not doing great on that. If you can get in there and just nail him with your Gatling phasers with enough firepower to kill him, we may be able to completely wipe out this tug before he really gets into the battle. It's going to be close. It's really close, but I'm losing most of my forward shields, which is the shield that I really need. Fighters, come home. I need you back up to a higher level of health because I'm going to need you to help survive against this fight. So we need some time, and we need our fighters back, and fine. Mines will provide a little bit of time. They do not help our fighters, though. Especially because he's going to be passing quite closely. Okay, not cool. All weapons return. I got nothing? Do I seriously have nothing? There we go, I've got something. Okay, so he's really lit into us, and our fighters have decided to ignore the order to return home, and our armor is gone. I swear to God, if you go down because you decided not to come home in a timely fashion, I'm going to be more than a little irritated with you. Okay, so he is on the starboard side of the ship. I didn't mean to fire that. I meant to just fire the phasers. Well, he's dead, so there's that going for us. More speed and start to repair things. Ooh, lost both of the Gatlings. That's not good. Phasers. Come on, phasers. I know you're about to come online. Okay, good. So, we've taken out the pseudo frigates. We're now dealing just with the NCFF. We're not going to hang around for the actual base assault. I don't think we're going to be able to pull that off. Fighters. Not yet ready. How long? Quite some time, actually. They were pretty badly beat up. Do you have an ESG? Because that's going to be how much pain I'm about to be in. Apparently not. Spam the fighters. Now them with 26 damage, plus the fighters' small cannons, adding a little bit into the fray. Oh, darn, he stunned off one of our cannons. So we are penetrating now, and we're able to start doing more stuff to him. He's using the mine tactic. We do not enjoy the mine tactic. Come on, get that Hellbore cannon off. There we go. 18 damage worth. That's not terrible at all. Also, we've knocked out most of his systems. Hey, fighter bays. Not yet done. How long? Still working on it. He killed our fighters. You jerk. Okay, well, if that's the way he wants to play, then we can play that way. Just gotta wait. Phasers down. The range is long, but we're gonna shoot anyway. Because next fighter squadron is about to come out, and he doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of systems left on the ship. So I can use that. He's coming in a little bit closer at a time, which I can also use because I have a Gatling phaser. And Gatling phasers hurt a lot. Wait for it. Wait for it. Because I'm hoping this Hellbore will come online in time. Screw it. Fire. Hellbore, please shoot. No, never mind. It was the fusion cannons that fired. Okay. So, I'm not sure we can pull this off. Here's the problem. We have no armor. And we have no fighters. And we have no forward shields. So I'm not quite certain how this is going to work out. But we're going to increase the speed of time. We're going to poke our nose at it. But I do anticipate a retreat from this fight. Because I don't think we pull that off quite as well as we need to in order to actually make this work. So first things first, we head off into the direction where we think that the enemy base is. And then we hopefully kill them. Yeah, this is probably not going to work. We're going to try it though. 19.5 points of power. We can sap that budget to move since we're not actually in range of anything as of yet. I do need to move off more in this direction. Because it is the upper right-hand corner that we are traveling towards. If we want to actually find the base station itself. And we do. So we're at full power. There's the base station. Pro. See what it is we're dealing with. Slow down a bit. Maybe? This is an interesting problem. There's a couple of reasons why this is an interesting problem. Because our Hellbores will be able to fire and always strike the weakest shield. Great. So, he can't always be protecting his best side. Or at least not with the way the AI does it. So we may actually be able to siege through it. Now, he does have 6 phaser 4s, which is a pretty considerable number. But we are defending ourselves quite well. We're going to cruise on in here against this battle station and then just start shelling it. Hellbores, fire as soon as you range. So we got to hit it. Okay. Start to slow down. We don't want to get too close. We want to... This is going to be something of an annoying siege. So he does have 4 ESGs, which puts him at battlecruiser levels of defense, which is not great for us. 19.5 points of power on the forward shield should be more than enough to handle. Unfortunately, he's also sitting in attack shift 2. He's decided that he wants to be defended rather than aggressive. Which I suppose makes a certain amount of sense. He's also not hitting us, which is nice. Okay, we need to close to 15. So 15 will have 20-something points of defense, which he could penetrate at any time. Not hitting. Because we're gonna have to go to full defense or offensive electronic countermeasure. So we've basically committed ourselves to this fight. Oh no, we won't. Okay. Knockdown 4. Let's see how he responds to that. Okay, starting to take shield hits. He's gone up to full 6. Follow. Gotta wait until we... Okay, then we'll do that. And we'll do that. So really, I don't feel like fighting him on this. I can constantly try and keep track of which ones, but I think our shields are sufficiently well defended in order to take the hits. Partly because he's spreading out the fire a little bit, so we should be okay. Now the question becomes whether or not we can actually deal a sufficient amount of damage to kill him. Because that's not necessarily going to be an easy thing. The AI is going to have a pretty significant amount of shield reinforcement to work with. Come on, get me within 15. That's all I ask. Stop. There's no reverse in this game, by the way, so we can't back up if we get too close. Okay. Decent accuracy as we start curling around. And if we manage to knock down one of these shields, we can just keep pounding it over and over and over. And the AI won't know to defend that shield with any significant level. So we might be able to take this. Hydrants are one of the better races to actually sort of do this sort of assault with because they will focus the primary shield every single time. And still no penetrations yet, but I'm interested to see where that shield's at. Oh good, it's almost at red. So we're almost through the shield. And then we can start pounding the base station itself. And once we start doing that, we might be able to kill it. So this was definitely one of the smaller space stations, although, to be fair, Lyran space stations are not very good. And this comes down to how they defend their space station, and that's with the expanding sphere generator, which is a terrible weapon system for a static emplacement. The expanding sphere generator could provide a defensive shield which would protect the ship, but it can't exactly give you any sort of major offensive options. Wait for it to cycle away. And knock down the shield again. 16 damage. So we are just going to steadily beat him to death. and he can't really stop us. I could try and focus multiple weapon systems down on that one shield, but we're close enough where it's too dangerous, in my opinion. So we're just gonna wait for it, and then shell him again. Now, I did this before once during Season 1, as the Federation versus the Klingons. And we did it in a X-type heavy cruiser, I believe. And the thing that we ran into was we had to time exactly which shield that we were attacking, because unlike the Hellbore, the photon torpedo does not wrap around to the weakest shield. And so I remember I spent an hour, literally an hour, or maybe it was 40-something minutes, doing this, where I was just tracking this shield is down, this shield is down, this shield is down, and just circling around the whole time, waiting in between strikes. Oh, that was the first starbase that we ever killed. Continually punching through, doing a decent amount of damage, although it looks like multiple shields are starting to drop. Or at least the way that the damage is circling in on things. So he may not have shields for much longer on multiple faces, which would be pretty helpful. Because that'll restrict how much defense he can actually handle. A couple of more blows to him, cycling in for even more damage. Only 6 though. Huh. It's not as good as I was hoping. This is the hardest part of the game. When you're in an actual siege with something like this. Planetary siege could also get kind of rough. But this thing really could take our lunch if it wanted. It could be an absolutely terrifying monster to engage. Six of these phaser 4s. That's enough to wipe pretty much anybody off the map. If we were foolish enough to get close, he would probably annihilate us. But we are doing a good job of just continually keeping his shields on. And if I wanted to, I could open fire right now with all the phasers. But from a range of 15, phaser 1 is going to do what? Let's actually check that. Phaser 1 from a range of 15 would deal 0 to 3 damage with an average of 1. So not particularly effective from this range. Not exactly something you want to invest in. Instead, just use the Hellbores. Because the Hellbores are very good at it. And eventually, he will start losing important major systems. Now what I could do is I could start launching fighters, but he'd start shooting at the fighters, then we'd lose the fighters. We're going home after this anyway. We've got no armor left on the ship, and we've lost one of our fighter squadrons, so there is that working against us. But once we start sort of putting a dent in these defensive phaser 4s, that's when we'll start launching the fighters. We'll keep them on harassment mode. They'll use their own Hellbores. They'll stay at range long enough so that they won't get hit by the expanding sphere generator. But yeah, the Lyran Starbase, because the expanding sphere generator has a maximum range of 3, is a really terrible stationary defensive weapon. So if this were Klingons, they'd be launching missiles and disruptors and the phaser 4s at us. If this was Federation, they'd be firing photon torpedoes and missiles and phaser 4s. The Romulans have huge plasma batteries on their starbases. It's more than a little ridiculous. Oh, we got a piece of that one. Okay, we knocked out half of the expanding sphere generator. That's pretty cool. So with half of his expanding sphere generators down, his internal defense is much weaker, although his strong phaser 4s are still completely intact. And so until those are down, not much we can do. Although we have done enough damage to his shield regeneration rate that he's not able to recycle the shield back on in between salvos of our Hellbores. So we've got that mostly under control at this point. So today is going to be a bit of a long episode. I'm already looking over. It's 33 minutes and 40 seconds. If we don't finish it soon, I'm going to have to split it into 2 parts, and that would be unfortunate. So got him down to half. We're out of probes. And he's really kind of... Well, he hasn't got down so much. I think one more salvo with the Hellbores, and we should be able to launch our fighters in attack mode. And that'll also give us detailed information about what's left on the starbase itself. Alright. Launch that. Launch the fighters. Start going up. So he is still targeting us. Probably shouldn't get too close, because he is still a formidable opponent. Oh, okay, he's not nearly as much of a formidable opponent as he used to be, as the fighters just go in and gut him. It's lovely. It's lovely on so many levels. So I can't believe we missed most of that. Starbase destroyed. Now, plus side, we won. Downside, the starbase is gone. From the tactical map, from the strategic map. That starbase no longer exists. So, sum up, some down. We didn't want to go, only 250. We didn't want it to go down this way. We wanted that starbase, but the tile's neutralized and it's gone. But at least that won't be a location where the enemy can be reinforcing. Although even it would have been a perfect position to just continually assault these two planets. But it was not to be. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Tirak. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.